The modern refrigerator is engineered to be replaced. I've been repairing home appliances for 22 years, and the machines I see failing most often are the newest ones. Units 6, 7, 8 years old with dead control boards and discontinued parts. That is not coincidence. That is a business model. But before the industry rewrote its own rules, 5 refrigerators were built to a standard that accountants hadn't reached yet. Today, I'm walking through all 5. I'm going deepest on number 1 because it's the unit I would put in my own home and the one that forced every competitor to rethink how they built compressors. Number 5 is the Hotpoint refrigerator built between 1975 and 1983. I know what you're already thinking. A machine that old is a liability, not an appliance. That is the stigma. Here is what the repair record actually shows. A retired school teacher named Margaret called me 3 years ago because her Hotpoint had stopped cooling. The unit was from 1979. It had been running without interruption since the Carter administration. The repair was a $40 start relay and 40 minutes of my time. Total cost of ownership over 44 years of continuous use, 1 service call. Margaret's daughter had replaced 3 modern refrigerators in the same period. The reason is the compressor. Hotpoint in this era used a hermetically sealed unit with almost no serviceable parts, because there was almost nothing that could fail. No electronic control boards, no touch panels, no ice maker circuits drawing power around the clock. The cooling system was a single refrigerant loop governed by a mechanical thermostat you could swap with a screwdriver. Engineers in that decade designed for 30 years of service because that was what the warranty culture required of them. The insider check is straightforward. Look for a unit with a functioning mechanical dial, not a digital display. Pull the compressor panel and listen. A healthy unit hums at a single consistent pitch with no clicking or cycling gaps. Clean examples sell for under $200. Budget another $80 for a door gasket. That is your entire investment for a machine already proven to run for 4 decades. But the next refrigerator has a corporate backstory that explains exactly when and why the industry changed. And the mileage story attached to it is even harder to believe. Number 4 is the Amana side-by-side refrigerator built before 1997, specifically before Goodman Manufacturing sold the brand to Raytheon, which passed it to Maytag, which was eventually absorbed by Whirlpool. Each transaction brought another round of cost reduction. The refrigerators built after 1997 reflect every one of those decisions. The machines built before that sale do not. People assume any appliance from that era is too old to trust. Here is what the repair record actually shows. A plumber named Ray bought a 1993 Amana side-by-side for $300 at an estate sale. He called me once in 11 years. A clogged defrost drain, $30 in 20 minutes. That unit is still running in his garage today. What most buyers don't realize is that the pre-1997 Amana used a dual evaporator design, one dedicated cooling loop for the refrigerator section and a separate loop for the freezer. Modern refrigerators almost universally run a single evaporator with a damper to divide the airflow. That shared architecture is cheaper to build and harder to diagnose when it fails, because one problem kills both compartments simultaneously. With the Amana, a freezer issue stayed in the freezer. The 2 sides were genuinely independent. The insider check is the serial number. The first 4 characters encode the manufacture year on most units from this era. A parts dealer can confirm origin in 2 minutes. Target anything with a confirmed pre-1997 build date. Expect to pay $350 to $450 for a clean example. Check the door hinges. These are heavy units, and sagging hinges are a $55 fix if caught early and a structural problem if they are not. Serial number confirmed, hinge is solid, and you are looking at a refrigerator built before the finance department started attending engineering meetings. The next brand takes that argument even further, and this one has a paper trail that names the exact year everything changed. Number 3 is the Kenmore top freezer from the 1980s. One explanation is necessary because Kenmore was never a manufacturer. It was a Sears house label applied to machines built by outside suppliers. In the 1980s, Whirlpool was the primary builder behind the name, and Sears held those suppliers to a stricter standard than those same manufacturers applied to their own retail lines. The result was a refrigerator consistently more reliable than what Whirlpool sold under its own name. The common assumption is that a brand, without its own factory, is a shortcut. Here is what the record shows instead. A woman named Diane brought me a 1986 Kenmore top freezer 2 years ago. It had been running in her family's hunting cabin in northern Michigan for 38 consecutive years without a single service call. Original compressor, original wiring, original door seals. It cooled within 2 degrees of its dial setting on the day she brought it in. She had paid $150 for it at a yard sale in 2005. The stigma is that anything from the 1980s has given everything it had. That machine told me otherwise. The insider check. The first 3 digits of the model number identify the original Whirlpool supplier build. Target Whirlpool origin models made before 1988. Budget between $200 and $300 for a clean, tested example. A water valve and door seal together cost under $100. That is the full maintenance story on a machine already proven to run 4 decades. But the next refrigerator carries the most dramatic longevity record I have seen in 20 years, and a corporate sale date that marks the exact moment the industry stopped caring. Number 2 is the Frigidaire 2-door refrigerator built between 1960 and 1979 under original General Motors ownership. Before the 1979 sale to White Consolidated Industries, GM's appliance division built compressors to tolerances tighter than most manufacturers hold today. The stigma is that a machine 60 years old cannot be trusted as a daily appliance. Here is what the repair record actually shows. A retired electrician named Stan pulled a 1967 Frigidaire from a house scheduled for demolition. The unit had been unplugged for 2 years. He cleaned the coils, plugged it in, and it cooled to 37 degrees in 4 hours. He ran it as a second refrigerator for 9 more years. Total repair cost, $0. After the 1979 White Consolidated sale, the compressor suppliers changed, and repair records in my shop shifted visibly within 3 model years. The insider check. Confirm the manufacture date falls before 1979, using the serial number plate on the interior wall. Look for an all-steel interior. Post-1979 units introduce plastic liner panels that crack and trap moisture over time. Expect to pay $150 to $250. A compressor capacitor runs about $20 and is the only proactive service item worth doing. Replace it, and you are unlikely to open that machine again. But one refrigerator on this list belongs in a different category. It is the only one that forced every competitor to change how they built their compressors. Number 1 is the Sub-Zero 500 series, built between 1970 and 1994. A contractor named Bill showed me his unit in 2019. His parents had bought it new in 1974. It had run in the same kitchen for 45 years. The only service visit in that entire time was a door gasket replacement in 1991. Nothing else. Not a compressor, not a relay, not a single electrical component. When Sub-Zero introduced the dual compressor architecture, one dedicated unit for the refrigerator section, a completely separate unit for the freezer, every major competitor was forced to respond. Within a decade, the dual system approach became the benchmark every manufacturer measured against, even if most never matched the execution. The plain English explanation is simple. With a single shared compressor, one failure takes down both compartments. With Sub-Zero's design, the 2 sides cannot affect each other. Each section holds its own humidity independently, which is why food stored in these units lasts longer. The insider check. Listen for 2 distinct hum tones when the machine is running. A lower register from the freezer compressor, a slightly higher one from the refrigerator side. Both should be steady and unbroken. Expect to pay $400 to $800 for a clean example. A full compressor service runs $300 to $400 if needed. That is still less than 1 month's payment on a new refrigerator. You are not buying a refrigerator. You are buying out of a cycle designed to make sure you always need the next one. Every machine on this list was built before the industry decided how long an appliance was allowed to last. That window closed decades ago, but the machines are still out there. Find one, keep it.